My name is Dean Page, and I'm a certified life coach. I help my clients get perspective, reach their goals, and change their world. I've also had the opportunity to meet a lot of interesting people. People who have had unique careers, built up businesses, and triumphed through adversity. So one day it dawned on me, why not put the two together? Why not start a show where people can tell their stories of building success and rebuilding from adversity, with the intent purpose to encourage, inspire, and inform others who are working on their goals to fulfill their dreams. Now, if I only knew what to call it. Maybe I should make a list. Wait, that's it. The Dean's List. Kinda has a nice ring to it. So I hope you join my guests and I on this upcoming episode of The Dean's List. Have you ever had a dream that you work really hard on, but yet it seems like no matter what, you just don't quite make it? And then one day, looking back, you realize maybe you need to change your attitude a little bit. So you make the changes that you need, and you are seeing results. The only thing is you're no longer 20 or even 30. Does that mean it's too late? Yeah, I don't think so. And the next story shows that. It's my friend Justin Rando, who literally the night before had just done a segment on WWE Raw in New York. See, sometimes when you make changes, dreams still can come true.
Um, and that was the other thing is because then I started, I did more shows for Shane. Again, the chemistry with Shane was awesome with us as a tag team. And I was at one of his shows. That's where I meet the politician. The politician
Ah,
contacted me and said that Scott Reed was interested in having me come to WFA.
that,
And that's where I find Mike Hollow again.
see, I love the politician too. Just because he's not 23, he might be 24, I don't know. But he's still out there and doing his stuff and learning and doing it. And again, you know, for me, I respect that, a lot. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I mean, for anybody that's going to do it
Hmm.
when they get older,
Hmm.
to follow your dream and do it. Like
Not
it's,
saying I
it's,
don't respect the 20-year. I don't mean it like that, but just the
no, but I
idea
mean,
of
I know what you're saying.
it'd be so easy to not be able to do anything.
Well, he was a real politician. You know that, right?
No, I didn't. No
Yeah,
wonder he plays it so well.
yeah. For I forgot what he was. He told me we went out to dinner one time. Yes, he was really a politician. He was
Oh,
in.
that's funny.
I want to say he had I don't know if he was in. I don't even know the state, the levels of whatever
Sure.
states go.
That explains
But
how he could do the caricature
yeah,
you feel so well.
yeah.
Um,
Um,
can I ask
but
you some?
I got to go to. Go ahead.
Nope, go ahead.
I was gonna say because then I got to go to WFA and
Yep.
that's where I would beat Hollow and it was destined to all come back. To now here I am working with this guy who I left 15 years ago after 6 months. And I say to myself, like, well, what if I think I said this to Mike one day. I said, I sometimes wonder, like, if I had stayed with you, could I have possibly made it at a younger age? And then I think about it and I go, no, I wasn't supposed to. I was too immature. I like to party too much. You probably would have found me in a hotel room somewhere because I didn't show up for the show, And so to me, it was like, no, this is when I'm supposed to be doing it. This is why it is where it's at. I'm older, I'm wiser, I'm smarter. I care more about it as a career and as an art and a business as opposed to being famous and making money. Sure, I mean I want to make money, that's great. But I was looking at it for all the wrong
Not the
reasons
end
15
all
years
goal,
ago
right? A byproduct rather than the motive.
because I was willing to do anything. I did a thing for MTV so that I was called Living at 24/7. So it was like basically we went out and partied and took pictures and had our own website on mtv.com, and we did all this to, like, we were in Boston. There was 6 other teams across the country. There was Los Angeles, there was Miami, there was Boston, there was, I think there was Texas, there was 2 in California. But I look at it and I go, I just wanted to be famous and be on TV, do this and do that. Didn't care about wrestling. I cared about what wrestling meant, was going to bring me. It was going to bring me girls. It was going to bring me money. It was going to bring me fame. It was going to bring me all that stuff.
Yep.
But now there's a difference now. And that's why I think, like, now is when I'm back with Mike Hollow to be like, let's finish this story and let's finish this chapter of where we, what you go now and look at is, I don't look at wrestling as, like, I look at it as a business, a job, my dream to do anything in the wrestling business, yes, but it's not that, hey, I'm going to be famous and be on TV now. So,
And you've always had the physical abilities, that's for sure. Just the fact that you could do skating that quick, enough to
yeah,
play on a team, So you got the physical ability all the time, and a lot. But it sounds like now you got I'm going to combine the mental maturity, if you will, plus
yeah.
um, like some life lessons, so that uh, now you can combine the two. And
Well, now I have the reason, the why.
oh, that's even better. Wow, yeah. What's your why? I love that's a
You
great
know,
question. I love what's your why?
my why before was totally wrong from
Yep.
what my, or not, it was totally 100% different from what my why is now.
Hmm.
Because again, it brings it. I am happy and it brings me joy. I know you want to talk about, like, what I like about being in the ring, man. It's awesome when you look out at people that are just there to see you do what you do. Because to you, it doesn't maybe seem overly impressive as it does to the people that are sitting out there. Because we go through the do it again till you get it right. This is wrong. This is wrong. This is what you need to do. So to us, it's work.
Hmm.
But we put a lot of hard work into what we do. And I know I do. I'm my own worst critic. And I take pride into, like, I hate when I don't like a match, which I usually never do like a match anyway, because I can find stuff wrong with it. And when I say to Mike, well, this is what I did wrong, he'd say, well, then if you know you did it wrong, then why'd you do it? And it's like, well,
Sounds like Mike.
because because it wasn't natural to me yet to do what I was supposed
Yep.
to, like, it wasn't natural to go. So that's where you get to practice, the practice, because
Hmm.
you build the foundation of, again, Michael say it, Regal says it. Um, you want to make it look, Regal said it like the best, like this yesterday, and I told it to Mike today. I said, so he said, like, Gunther's transitions are
Yeah,
so smooth,
yeah,
they don't look like transitions.
yeah.
And that's kind of what Mike is like. Yes, we want your transitions to look so smooth they don't look like transitions into
Wow,
what's coming next.
that's a good point. And he
And then
doesn't.
once you get that, yeah, when you get that foundation,
Yep.
just like everybody said, like when you think about Kobe Bryant or Michael Jordan or LeBron, any of those guys, like, they would not be great players if they didn't do their fundamentals and basics to the best that they can, and
Right.
get those down pat.
Yep.
When you can do those, then you can go out and do the other stuff. But, like, to be a great player, you got to have that foundation and the fundamentals and the basics.
When
So
I
to
was
me, yeah,
when we would do train, it's funny when we would go do training for martial arts, and we would go train with like these high level masters and that kind of stuff. In
yeah,
the one that I was in, there was a white belt form that you start off with for very as 16 moves maybe. It's been a
mhm,
while. And we would go and here we are black belts in different ranks and titles and all that. And we would go and we would have these guys and they would have us do that white belt for them. And you kind of went, what? you know, Why are we
Yeah,
doing this? And what I found out after the fact is they would watch that because if you had any flaws, it would show up in those basic moves because the basic moves was what everything else was based on. So if your
exactly.
foot
Yep.
position isn't right on a basic front kick, then if you do a jump out or spinning crescent kick, which I used to do, I'm not going to try it tonight though. If you do that, your foot
Next,
position is not going to be on.
right.
And but then you build, and yes,
But
we did
that's
do other more complicated stuff. But the fact, and
but
you
to be
also
able to
had to
do that
kind of,
competition,
yeah, be a humble a bit to like, okay, let me do this white belt form like I'm in the world championships.
yeah. Because be able to do those things though, those things would look like crap if your fundamentals look like crap.
Right. Yeah,
So I mean, like
and having
the
somebody
better your
like a Mike,
fundamentals are, the better that your other work is in that, in
yeah,
that sense. So it's kind of like if you lack on your fundamentals, you slack on your because everybody wants to go to practice and they want to do moonsaults and they want to do this and that. Somebody said they said, I got. We were at TV one day and somebody said I got 80 college athletes down in Florida that can do every kind of flip move, backflip, somersault. What I don't have is guys who can wrestle and do the fundamentals and the basics.
wow, that's powerful.
That was
Who said
Gabe. That was Gabe who said that. Gabe Sapolsky. That was Gabe who said that in his seminar, his first one that I went to.
that is powerful?
Yeah. He said he's got 20-year-old, 22-year-olds down in Florida that can flip and do every kind of move. But what he doesn't have is guys who can do, the basics and get them right. And that's where Mike, I mean, I feel like when a lot of times you go to practice at Elite in New Hampshire with Mike, like everybody will say, well, we just do the same thing over and over again. Yeah, but no, we don't. Because the first time we did it, it wasn't right. The second time we did it, it wasn't right. The third practice we did it, it wasn't right. We're doing it until we get it right.
Yeah,
And not just right, but till it becomes natural.
right. So you're not thinking about it.
So you're not thinking.
I'd
You know what I
say
mean?
you go
And
to
that's the biggest thing is like he's like, I can tell when you're thinking, I can tell when you're not.
yeah,
Not just with me, but with everybody. Like I can tell you need to react. It's a business of reacting.
yeah, yeah. That's a
You
good
know,
point.
even if you're on the microphone, if I'm having a conversation with you and we're arguing in a promo on the microphone, I have to be able to react to what you're saying because I don't know what you're going to say. See, I better be good at reacting to the words that you're going to say and get the point across because otherwise it's a mess.
Yeah, right. Because you're playing off each other. That's a good point.
You have to be able to play off each other. It's the
Yeah.
same thing with a match. It's the
Which
same thing
it's
with
hard to
chemistry.
be
I've had
playing off each other if you're trying too busy thinking of just what you're going to say.
exactly
So
because then
yeah.
you're not listening to what that person's saying
Mhm.
because you're thinking about what you're going to say, and then when they stop, you go, "Oh crap! What did they just say?"
But
So you have to be able to react. And it's the same thing with chemistry when it comes to a match. Like the matches that I could go out there, we taught you wanted to know my favorite match. So talked about chemistry match wise. I have great chemistry tagging with Shane Alden. So we decide that now Shane Alden did a lot of work when he was younger
mhm.
too for WWE. He did a lot of matches on TV.
Yep.
So him and his brother. So and he's really simple. He's basic. And so this is after I talked to Mike, and Mike says, you're wrestling all these guys that they're not benefiting you. You need to wrestle somebody who's going to benefit you. It's going to be better. So I went to Shane and I said, Shane, I said, I wanna turn on you
Hmm.
so that we can work one on one now instead of being a tag team. Because you're the type of guy that likes simple, basic, fundamental stuff. Work the hands, work the crowd,
Mhm.
do one thing, let them react, let them digest it, and go back and do something else.
Mhm.
So we had a tag match, and I turn on him at the end. So we set it up to where he has a match in the beginning of the show, one on one. He loses because he gets jumped by two other guys that helped it was him versus this guy, Punk, not CM Punk, but this other guy,
I'm like,
Punk.
I'm like, what? Yep.
So he's working Punk. Those two have worked each other tons of times. They're really good friends. They work well together. Punk is going to go over because the other two guys are going to cheat, come out and help him. They're going to start beating Punk down, or beating Shane down. Boom, I come out, slide in with a chair. Crowd goes crazy. Now Shane and I say, that's it. We're taking you three on tonight. 3-on-2. Shane and I tag for that night. He loses the match for us, and I kind of blame him. So we get back in the ring. I'm kind of, giving him the whole, like, can't
Mhm.
believe, you could have just tagged me. We would have won. So he just, come on, we hug, raise the hand, go to the next side, raise the hand, go to the third side, raise the hand. He says, now, boom, I lay him out. Crowd goes silent first, and then they start booing. And so then I cut a little promo on why I did it,
Mhm.
and we go into working each other for the next couple shows. And so our last match that we worked against each other was a tables match, but you would have never known it was a tables match because we didn't use the table until it was time to use the table.
Oh, wow. So you didn't depend on it. Nice.
No, we didn't
Yeah.
depend on it anything. We didn't use it until the very end of the match. Seems like we don't need to use the table. He's like,
Yeah.
well, use it at the end when you go through it, and then the match is over. And that's exactly what we did. We did, I think, 12, 15 minutes. Um, it was so simple, and there was 400 and something people there, and they loved
I bet.
every minute of it. And Shane was pleased with the match. I was pleased with it. Um, Shane, we got back to the locker room. He said it was the timing was good. It was slow. It
Mhm.
was you played to the crowd. You were methodical. You know you did something and then you stopped, and then you everything just was. I was on that night, I guess. Which I never am. For me, it doesn't seem like that great. But so the end of the match is boom. He hits me with a flapjack. Crowd's like, yeah. He gets out of the ring. He gets the table, slides the table in. He gets in the ring.
Uh,
He's going to pick the table up to set it up. As he's doing so, he turns around. I'm there. Spine buster.
oh.
That's it. I'm like, that's it. The match is over.
Yeah.
I'm going to win. I get the table. I put the table up. I set it up. I tap it. In the meantime, he's up. I turn around, gets me on his shoulders. Boom, puts me through with a John Cena. Match is over. Table was in it for the last 30 to 20 to 30 seconds of the match.
But you built the
Um,
story to that point.
and it was so fun. It was one of the most fun matches I've had.
You have the dream, desire, and talent. Everyone knows you have the work ethic. You have the best gyms, personal trainers, and workout programs. But what about overcoming the challenges, setbacks, or hindrances that are a risk to your incredible potential? I can help with that. Visit DeanPageLifeCoach.com. I help clients get perspective, reach their goals, and change their world. Maybe you could be next. You have the dream, desire, and talent. Everyone knows you have the work ethic. You have the best gyms, personal trainers, and workout programs. What about overcoming the challenges or getting your head in the game? I can help with that. Visit DeanPageLifeCoach.com. I help clients get perspective, reach their goals, and change their world. Maybe you could be next. I was going to ask you some kind of like quick,
Fire.
quick questions. Yeah,
Sure.
if you don't mind. And some of it, frankly, I'm curious. So when you do a what is the difference? Is there a difference in mindset, like between being a baby face and a heel?
Oh yeah, big time. I, Babyface is kind of for me. I feel like it's they're both hard. I mean, they're not hard. It's knowing your audience, and it's knowing, again, things that Mike is like always saying about, you know, read the audience, you know, um, listen to them, and that's something that you have to start thinking about. And I've probably learned more in the last, it's about a year. I've been training with Mike Solid
Mm-hmm.
again after the 6 months when I was in my early 20s,
Mm-hmm.
which I don't even count because he doesn't remember me. So he's trained so many people since then, that it's all the little things that I never really thought about or cared about when I was wrestling those other years.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Even when I say I went back to working with Shane's promotion for a year or so before I was with Mike, I can look back at those matches and yeah, I had some good ones and I had some bad ones, and um but I wasn't like reading what I didn't know what I was doing. I wasn't reading the crowd. I wasn't reacting to things, and I still don't all the time. There's still times where Mike will send me an email and go, this, and he'll critique it and that, and he'll sometimes say like, oh, I hope you don't think that I'm being too hard. Like, if I didn't want to be as good as I could be and the best that I could be in
Right.
that level, I wouldn't. I want the critiques. I want the criticism. I can
Mm-hmm.
handle it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want you to sugarcoat it and tell me like, yeah, that's great, because there's a lot of shit out there,
Yeah.
and I'm seeing that more and more with the promotions that I work, that like there's very few guys that really know what's going on, and they think that they do, and they don't. And I see it more after every time that I spend a weekend with Mike.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I go and I work an indie show or something, and I go, God,
Is that what he's
I'm gonna
talking about?
these guys are just so like they're not even making sense. They're not very few guys that really do. And with him saying that he feels bad because he says about his critiques and his criticism and stuff like that. Like I say to him all the time, I'm like, you're not mean about it. You're just telling me what I need to hear, not what I want to hear. Like
Which
you're
is
telling me this stuff because you want to see me get better. You want to see me succeed. You want to have me be that 5% of the indie guys. Because here's the thing that he says all the time, and it boils down to, we're losing jobs for ourselves and the independent. Like, they're hiring all these 20-something-year-old athletes because we aren't doing what we should be doing. We're not learning, and we're not performing the way that we should be as indie wrestlers, and not indie wrestlers, it's professional wrestlers. We're performing as indie wrestlers, and I see that when it comes to all these other promotions, that these guys don't train, they don't practice, they don't care about what they look like, they don't go to the gym. It's all that package of everything, and it's like, Mike, man, no, you're not being mean,
mm,
you're telling me that for the few of us that are listening to you, like, we're the ones who want to be better. We're the ones who want to be as good as we could be. We're the ones that want to take those jobs away from those college athletes, and
this ties into um, that when you said you go to other, and I'm not going to mention it, but when you go to other promotions and that type of stuff, what makes a good, I'm going to say, locker room leader and also transition into like the ring general?
um, well, ring general is going to be somebody that has got everything that's for the most part down, that they know, like, that they can call a match, they can read the crowd, they can hear the fans, they can slow you down, they can slow it down so that the fans can digest it, and they can get you back on track when you get lost. Um,
So
so
is that
there's a
kind of
lot of,
like a movie director almost?
yeah, I mean, kind of. It's like, you forget your lines, and you got to be able to, for one, when you forget your lines, you got to be able to improvise.
Hmm.
And in that improvisation that you're doing, you have to be able to get back on track to with where you're going. You know what I mean? So like if you have a beginning, a middle, and an end, and you know the end, and you know the beginning, and you get lost somewhere in the middle, you still have to be able to improvise to keep it making
Right.
sense, and then to get back on track to where you're going to lead right up to the end and have the end make sense. Because
Oh,
and that's kind of the hard part. Is like being a ring general is years of
wow.
like
Because they're thinking about what they got to do and what they're thinking about the whole package, not just
they got to think for two people,
yeah, and the
you
audience and stuff. Wow.
and the audience and
I actually
everything.
didn't
So
know that. I thought it was just
no,
somebody who went in the ring and you didn't mess with. What
no, it's
about
somebody
being
who.
a locker room leader? Is that important to you?
Yeah, I mean, I will say this about the independent promotions that I do work is the locker room. Like,
Hmm.
I don't have anybody that has like. There's nobody that's really negative. I mean, yeah, you'll get your far and few between that are a little bit of like, but they don't last long. They don't last long, and but there's times where it's about being positive and like giving good feedback and like critiquing. People ask me like what I think about their matches and stuff, and I'll say like, listen, I'm going to tell you this because I noticed it, and the reason I noticed it is because I do it, and I get it told to me
Hmm.
by one of the best coaches in the country when he says, "You keep doing this," so you start to realize what you're doing, and then you see other people do it, and you're like, "This is what you're doing," and so like that you'll look and you'll go, "This is what you're doing wrong." And the only reason I know that you're doing it wrong is because I get told over and over and over again that I'm doing it wrong, or that it needs to be fixed, or it can be better this way, or maybe it's not even wrong. It's just it can look better if you do it like this. It'll make more sense if you do it like this. Um,
In the obviously we're in the New England area, if you can tell by the accents. The
yeah,
in this area, the indie scene, who's some up and coming people that are kind of on your
uh,
radar?
yeah. I knew. I looked at that question, and there's like a few guys. Um, I mean, I'd say up and coming too, because like I mean, like I don't consider myself up and coming, but I guess I could. But um,
Okay, who
so
are
it's
some
kind of
people
hard.
who are not going to be what 43? You said 42.
I'm 40. I'll be 43 next Saturday.
Okay, who are some people who are not 43 next Saturday that you see coming up? How's that?
Well, obviously, first and foremost, I mean, I got to say my boy Spencer Slate.
Seriously.
Not only is he like up and coming, but like he's the total package of like he's got the look, he's got the let's see, he's got the looks and he's got the ability, he's got the locker room leadership, he's got the
Hmm.
the persona, the character. He's got the great attitude. He's got all the stuff that, like, really, I say is somebody that's gonna. He's got the drive and the motivation for sure.
Yeah, I
Um,
believe that.
the dedication. I mean, that's the only thing on his mind is wrestling. Like,
Hmm.
that's the only thing. There is nothing else on his mind. Um, so I think for that,
He's very believable too.
he's very believable.
Like,
Um, so I feel like I think that another one is that I would say like Anthony Katina.
hmm.
Um, I don't know if you're like if you know of him. Have you ever
Hmm.
seen Anthony or do you know who Anthony is? Okay, so Anthony is again very young. The look, um, he's got the character. He's got, I mean, just basically like again, he's just like Spencer. He's driven. He's motivated. He's all that kind of stuff. And so I think to me, it's kind of like when you look at Spencer and you look at Anthony, and it's kind of like those two guys. Um, their work ethic alone stands out. Of like, I mean, Anthony is like all over the country.
Mm-hmm.
Like he follows wherever he's gonna wrestle.
Mm-hmm.
Like he just follows over everywhere, and you're just like, wow, man, like this guy is just he's one of those guys that like he's determined to be the best, and he's not afraid to tell you that either.
Got that vibe.
Yeah, he's
But he
got
puts
that
the
vibe.
work ethic. So, I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah, um, yeah, those two guys right there, top of the line. I mean, you got they got the youth, they got the look, they got
Attitude, too.
all that,
Like
the
the
attitude.
work
Yeah, they
ethic.
got the work ethic. Um, Another big thing is, and here's where you would have to say, like, this is where you would talk to Mike about that. A big question is, are you coachable?
Oh, yeah.
You could have all the talent in the world and the work ethic and everything like that, but if you're not coachable, you might as well just throw that all out the window.
Yeah.
Because nobody's going to want you if you got a bad attitude and you're not coachable.
Yeah.
I think Mike would probably agree with me on that. That's probably one of the biggest things is like, you know, when you look at the bigger promotions, the big promotion, the biggest, of course, is like guys get fired because they're not coachable. They don't want to listen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
I had asked him what some of the main things to walk into school, and that was one of the biggest things was be coachable. You know.
mhm.
You know, and I'm well, I'm paraphrasing it. You know, take it like a grown up. The critique isn't personal. The critique is to get you better. So if you want to
Right.
get better, this is what I'm telling you.
If you want a job in this
So,
industry,
such is life. You know, do you want to feel sorry for yourself or do you want to get better? Here's how to get better.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think
Again, can you tell I did martial arts?
it's basically like I say. I think I've said it, Mike. It's like, no, Mike, you're giving me critiques and criticism, but you're giving me constructive criticism. Like
Oh,
everything
there's
that
a
you're telling me,
difference.
there's a difference. There's a big difference.
Do you know?
You're not picking me apart to make
Yeah.
me feel bad.
You have the dream, desire, talent. Everyone knows you have the work ethic. You have the best gyms, personal trainers, and workout programs. What about overcoming the challenges, setbacks, or injuries that are a risk to your incredible potential? I can help you with that. Visit DeanPageLifeCoach.com. I help clients get perspective, reach their goals, and change their world. Maybe you could be next.